All right, let's just jump right into it. We usually think of communication as, well, just getting information from my brain to yours. Simple, right? But what if the real goal wasn't just to make people think something, but to actually make them feel something? That's exactly what we're going to get into today. How to give your words some real power, the power to connect, to move people, and to be, completely unforgettable. Just take a look at this. It's a perfect example. On the left side, you've got a pure, dry fact. Sure, it's logical, it's correct, but it's kind of cold, isn't it? Now, look at the right. That same piece of information is completely transformed into a story, one that actually connects with you. And that is the huge shift we're talking about, going from just feeding the brain information to truly, deeply engaging our emotions.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we give our words a real pulse, a life of their own? Well, it turns out there's a classic term for this exact thing. And believe me, it is the secret ingredient behind some of the most powerful speeches and stories you've ever heard. And that secret ingredient? It's called pathos. Now, you've probably heard of it, maybe along with its buddies Ethos, which is all about credibility, and Logos, the appeal to logic. But pathos is the appeal to emotion. It's the tool you use to build a bridge, right from your mind straight to your audience's heart. It's what makes your message land on a way, way more personal level.
And I just love this way of putting it. Giving your words a heartbeat. Doesn't that just perfectly capture the whole idea? I mean, without pathos, they're just data points on a screen. But when you add it, they come alive. They stop just stating a problem and start making the audience genuinely care about finding a solution.
So this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? Let's get practical here. We are going to open up an emotional toolkit, basically. 4 really specific techniques you can start using right away to build this kind of emotional connection into your own communication.
Okay, so here are the 4 big tools we're going to break down. First, telling personal stories to really build that empathy. Second, painting with your senses to make everything super vivid. Third, using comparisons so ideas actually stick. And finally, number 4, playing with your rhythm to control the mood. Let's kick things off with what I think is the most powerful one of all.
And this brings us right back to that story about Sarah. See how it works? A personal story just completely transforms an abstract idea like bullying into a real, tangible experience of a person. I mean, we can all relate to feeling alone or sad, and tapping into that shared emotion, it creates an instant, really powerful connection.
All right, tool number 2 is all about making your audience feel like they are right there in the moment with you. Don't just tell them about a scene, you gotta immerse them in it. Use words that trigger their senses. What would they see? What would they hear, feel, smell, or even taste? The more senses you can light up, the more real the whole experience feels inside their head.
And here's a great example of combining those senses to get the biggest impact. You don't just hear that a house is scary, you actually start to experience it. The sound of those creaky floorboards, that musty smell, these little details sneak right past the logical part of your brain and hit you right in the emotional core. You actually start to feel that fear yourself. Okay, our third tool, using comparisons. Think of similes and metaphors as these awesome creative shortcuts for the brain. So a simile, that's when you use like or as. Her smile was as bright as the sun. A metaphor is more direct. It says one thing is another. The classroom was a zoo. In both cases, you're linking your idea to something the audience already gets, which makes it instantly memorable and, emotionally charged.
All right, on to tool number 4, and this one is all about rhythm. Just listen to the feel of this. Short, punchy sentences. See? They create tension, a sense of urgency, and this feeling of finality. He waited. He waited. That repetition really builds the anxiety, right? No one came. It's so abrupt it almost feels like a gut punch. The rhythm of your words literally dictates the rhythm of your audience's emotions. Now, let's completely flip that. This is one long, flowing sentence. The rhythm here, totally different. It's slow, it's thoughtful, maybe a little bit sad. It lets the image just sort of unfold gradually in your mind. And that creates a mood of peace, or maybe quiet sadness. So it's the same topic, waiting, but a completely different feeling. And it's all down to the sentence structure.
So, all of these tools we've talked about, personal stories, sensory details, comparisons, rhythm, they all serve one master principle. And it is, no joke, probably the most famous piece of advice for any communicator out there. Show, don't just tell.
So this right here, this is telling. If I just say, I was scared, what is that? It's just a label. You get the information, sure, but you're kept at a distance. You're basically just an observer looking in from the outside.
But now, check out the show version. What's cool is you don't even need the word scared. We know the feeling because we feel it with the character. We experience the shaking hands, the pounding heart. We're right there in that dark hallway. You've put the audience inside the emotion, and that is just infinitely more powerful. So the really crucial point here is that using these tools isn't about manipulating people. Not at all. It's about connection. It's about honoring your message by delivering it in a way that clicks on both an intellectual and an emotional level. It's about connecting minds, for sure, but it's just as much about connecting hearts.
So as we start to wrap this up, let's run through a few quick tips. Number 1, be genuine. Your audience can spot fake emotion from a mile away. Trust me. Number 2, you've got to balance that emotion with logic. Pathos is powerful, but without some solid facts, it can feel pretty hollow. Third, try to appeal to shared values, things like fairness, kindness, safety. And finally, pull your audience in directly. Ask them questions like, so how would you feel if? And ultimately, this is the goal, right? You want your audience to walk away not just remembering the words you said, but actually seeing the pictures you painted and feeling the emotions you shared, because that is what creates a truly lasting impression.
So the next time you're getting ready to communicate something really important, just ask yourself this one last question. You've built your argument. You've got your facts and logic lined up. But have you made them feel it? Because that's the real challenge. And honestly, that's where the real power is.